Hey, welcome to today's video. Let's dive right in. Dealing with disrespectful people is one of the most draining and demoralizing experiences you'll face. Whether it's a coworker, a so-called friend, or even a family member, that sting of being disrespected can hit deep, shaking your confidence and making you question your self-worth. I get it. I've been there, feeling small, brushed aside, and undervalued. But here's the raw truth. You don't have to put up with disrespect from anyone. It's time to stand up, draw your boundaries, and take back your power. In this video, I'm going to share 8 no-nonsense, unapologetically honest strategies to deal with people who show you no respect. These aren't your typical feel-good, sugar-coated tips. These are grounded in the reality of Stoic philosophy and personal experience. I'm not here to tell you to just brush it off or pretend it doesn't matter. Rise above the nonsense. I'm here to equip you with the tools to stand firm and command the respect you deserve. If you've ever felt like you're constantly battling for respect, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have the confidence and strategies to handle anyone who dares to disrespect you. Ready to take charge? Let's get into it. First up, establish firm boundaries. This is the foundation of dealing with disrespect. It's not about being passive or hoping someone will figure out what's wrong. It's about clearly defining what's acceptable and what's not. People treat you based on what you tolerate, and if you allow disrespect without consequence, it will continue. I've learned this the hard way. There was a time when I let others walk all over me, thinking that kindness would eventually earn me respect. Spoiler, it didn't. It wasn't until I firmly drew a line and made my limits crystal clear that I noticed a real change. Whether it's a boss who constantly crosses boundaries or a friend who belittles you, it's crucial to communicate where your line stands. Respect isn't earned by staying silent. It comes from confidently standing up for yourself. Be assertive, not aggressive. Express your boundaries in a calm but firm way. For instance, if someone keeps interrupting or talking over you, say something like, "I value respectful conversations, and I need you to let me finish my point." It might feel awkward at first, but that discomfort is temporary. The respect you'll gain from enforcing those boundaries will last much longer. Next, avoid getting dragged into power struggles. Here's a hard truth. People who disrespect you often thrive on the imbalance of power they create. Their goal is to provoke you, to make you react emotionally, and pull you into a confrontation. But when you react, whether by becoming defensive, angry, or upset, you're giving them exactly what they want. The more you engage, the more control they have over you. Instead, maintain your composure, stay calm, and don't take the bait. I'm not suggesting you let them walk all over you, but rather, don't allow their behavior to dictate your emotional state. Don't let someone else's behavior dictate how you feel. By staying composed, you strip them of the power they seek. It sends a clear message. Their attempts to provoke or belittle you are ineffective. As Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that be your guiding principle. Focus on mastering your reactions, not trying to control their actions. The next time someone disrespects you, resist the urge to argue or prove a point. Instead, remain calm, use measured responses, and if needed, walk away. This approach not only preserves your self-respect, but also leaves the other person powerless. Another strategy? Limit your interactions with disrespectful individuals as much as possible. Sometimes avoiding them entirely isn't an option, whether they're colleagues, family members, or others in your life, but minimizing contact can greatly reduce their negative impact on your peace of mind. Acquaintances may be hard to avoid, but you do have control over how much of your time and energy you let them consume. I used to believe I had no choice but to endure disrespect because some people just couldn't be completely avoided. But here's what I learned. You can minimize their influence on your life. If it's someone at work, keep your interactions strictly professional and necessary. If it's a friend or family member, avoid getting drawn into unnecessary conversations or activities. Guard your personal space, because the more exposure you have to toxic individuals, the more they deplete your energy. You don't need to announce that you're pulling away. Just quietly distance yourself when possible. The less time you spend around disrespectful people, the less control they have over your mood, energy, and self-esteem. Respect yourself enough to protect your mental and emotional well-being. Next, embrace silence as a response. Not every confrontation is worth having, and not every rude remark deserves a reply. In fact, silence can sometimes be the most powerful response. Disrespectful people often crave a reaction. They want to see you lose your cool, but when you respond with silence, you deny them that satisfaction. Avoid getting pulled into a heated argument. When you choose not to react and remain silent, it robs them of the control they seek. Silence is powerful. It shows you're not willing to stoop to their level or engage in petty quarrels. You rise above the noise. I've found that one of the most effective ways to deal with disrespect is to let it linger in the air. No need to defend or explain yourself. Let your silence speak volumes. The next time someone disrespects you, pause. Instead of responding right away, take a moment, breathe deeply, and let the silence fill the space. Not only does this give you time to gather your thoughts, but it also forces the other person to sit with the discomfort of their own words. Trust me, silence can be far more unsettling to them than any comeback you might offer. Another essential step is setting firm boundaries. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, it's critical to make your limits clear. Disrespect often happens because people either don't know where your boundaries are or they assume you won't assert them. Setting boundaries isn't about creating conflict. It's about showing respect for yourself. Communicating what behavior is and isn't acceptable can feel challenging at first. I used to worry that setting boundaries would come across as rude or overly assertive. But here's the truth. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, and they help teach others how to treat you. When you don't set clear limits, people may take advantage of your silence or uncertainty. A straightforward, firm statement like, "I don't appreciate being spoken to like that," or "Please don't interrupt me while I'm talking," can send a strong message about where you stand. It may feel awkward at first, but once those boundaries are in place, you'll find that disrespect becomes much harder for others to continue. They will either start respecting your boundaries or they'll distance themselves because they can't handle being held accountable. Another key point, don't take their disrespect personally. When someone treats you poorly, it can feel like an attack on your self-worth. But here's a tough truth. Their behavior reflects more about them than it ever does about you. Disrespect often stems from a projection of someone's own insecurities, frustrations, or unresolved bitterness. Once you stop personalizing their behavior, you'll feel an immense relief. I've been in that place, overthinking every rude comment or action, wondering if I somehow caused it. But once I stopped internalizing their negativity, I realized the issue wasn't with me. It was with them. They were acting out because of their own problems, not because of anything I did. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. Instead of reacting with hurt or anger, you can observe the situation with emotional distance. Remind yourself that their behavior reflects their own character flaws, not your worth. You have the choice in how much you let their disrespect affect you. By not taking it to heart, you regain control over your emotions and responses. Lastly, if it comes to it, don't hesitate to walk away. Sometimes the most empowering thing you can do when someone disrespects you is simply walk away. Disrespect, if allowed to persist, can slowly chip away at your self-esteem. Remaining in a toxic environment where your value is constantly undermined can have a lasting negative impact on your mental health, energy, and confidence. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness, it's a bold statement of self-respect. It's saying, "I refuse to be treated like this," and taking decisive action to preserve your peace of mind. I used to think that leaving meant I was giving up or letting the other person win. But I've since learned that it's not about winning or losing, it's about choosing yourself. You don't have to stay in situations where you're disrespected just to prove a point or because you feel like you need to be tough. No amount of explaining or arguing will change someone who is determined to belittle or mistreat you. When I began walking away from those situations, I didn't feel like I lost anything. Instead, I felt a profound sense of relief and freedom. At the end of the day, protecting your inner peace is the true victory. Walking away can take many different forms, from something as straightforward as stepping away from a toxic conversation to more significant actions, like cutting ties with someone who consistently disrespects you. It might involve ending a long-standing friendship or relationship, or making the difficult choice to leave a job where your value is overlooked. While these decisions are tough, they're often necessary to protect your well-being in the long run. Walking away empowers you to choose who deserves your time and energy, sending a clear message that your self-respect is not up for negotiation. Additionally, it's important to surround yourself with supportive people. Dealing with disrespect is exhausting, especially when it feels like you're facing it alone. The constant strain of defending your worth can leave you feeling emotionally drained and isolated. That's why it's crucial to build a circle of people who uplift, encourage, and truly respect you. For nurturing your mental and emotional health. A strong support system not only shields you from the negativity you may encounter, but also serves as a vital reminder that you are valued and loved. I can't emphasize enough how crucial it was for me to have a close-knit group of friends and family who truly cared about my well-being. Whenever I faced disrespect, they were there to listen, offer support, and remind me that I deserved better. These individuals stood by me during times when I felt too emotionally exhausted to advocate for myself. Knowing that I had people cheering for me gave me the strength to walk away from disrespectful situations without feeling guilty. They helped me understand that my worth isn't determined by how others treat me, but by how I treat myself. Moreover, being surrounded by supportive individuals can significantly boost your self-confidence, making it easier to deal with disrespect in the future. These people reinforce the belief that you deserve kindness, respect, and decency, empowering you to stand your ground against anyone who tries to belittle you. They create a safe space for you to express your feelings, process your experiences, and heal from negativity, which is essential after facing such challenges. Disrespected. Their positive influence can help shift your perspective from the pain to the valuable lessons learned, reminding you that you are not defined by how others treat you. Cultivating a supportive network may require distancing yourself from toxic relationships, but it's a worthwhile endeavor. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. When you surround yourself with uplifting individuals rather than those who bring you down, it becomes much easier to recognize and reject disrespect. Dealing with disrespect is challenging, but your response can either strengthen or undermine your self-worth. Keep in mind that how others treat you reflects more on them than on you. However, your reaction reveals everything about how much respect you have for yourself. Whether you decide to establish firm boundaries, speak out, walk away, or simply choose not to engage, the power lies within you. You don't have to accept behavior that undermines your value. The key takeaway is this: you deserve to be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. And if someone is unable to provide that, it's your right and responsibility to safeguard your peace. By surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift you and taking charge of how you allow others to treat you, you establish the standards for your own treatment. Disrespect may still come your way, but you'll be much more prepared to address it with grace, confidence, and self-respect. So the next time you face disrespect, remember the strategies at your disposal. Don't let anyone diminish your worth. Stand tall, set your boundaries, and always prioritize yourself. Thank you for taking the time to read this. If you found these insights valuable, please share them with others who might need a reminder of their own strength and worth. Let's work together to foster a community of respect and support where we uplift one another. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and remember that respect begins within.